Hello, everyone, and welcome to another masterclass. Last week we did Zen from Vitality, and we looked at him as a player and how he was able to really elevate Vitality's gameplay. And today we're going to do more of a team perspective. I'm going to be talking about G2 Stride and how their most recent regional kind of shows you how you can be at your offensive peak. And we're going to take some of the things that they do in their gameplay that you guys can apply to your ranked gameplay. So, got the replay right here. Let's just hop into it. Pretty standard kickoff. Nothing too worrying about that. We have Atomic following a touch up. And we're going to get started early, guys. I want you to look at the spacing we have here. Atomic, able to solo play, but Daniel's also here. So what happens is Atomic has two options. He can go here or he can pass it to Daniel. And when he has this solo play and this passive option available, it forces LJ to make a choice between the two. Most people in pro play will just pre-jump and then defend the touch off of that pre-jump. But with this option turning upfield, it allows that choice to have to be made. And that's why in this situation, LJ's able to get a good touch, but it's a really, really tough aerial to defend when you're looking at it from the Space Station POV. We have Atomic making a really good solo touch, and we have Daniel following up here. And look at this. They don't have a lot of boost, but they don't care because they all have spaces covered. Atomic has anything past Beast Mode. Beast Mode has all of these touches in the corner, and Daniel's able to just fill in here. And it makes G2's life and rotation so much easier because instead of having to worry about the boost here, Atomic doesn't have to sit here, but can rotate back and fill in. Remember, if you're able to get boost, do it. It helps you so much. Making a touch on 12 boost is so much harder than making a touch on 100 boost. So, we have Atomic get bumped here. Scary situation. It's Atomic, so he's going to get back to it. No biggie. But as you can see, look at this spacing. I keep going back to spacing, but they're so good about always having someone here that can challenge the ball and then someone third man who's able to challenge whatever happens in this situation. And in pro play, when you have two people challenging a ball, the options are all covered because you have Beast Mode, who in this situation, I want to see how he plays this. Beast Mode plays low, and Daniel gets demoed. So luckily, since Beast Mode doesn't go, it's not too risky. Beast Mode gets a really good double tap, and here's the same thing. Yes, kind of a lucky spawn by Daniel, but same thing. Atomic has the ball there, and Daniel's pushing upfield, able to support, able to give. That really easy, hey, you're not going to hit the ball, I'll hit it. It makes it so much easier on the team of G2. We have Beast Mode pre-jumping. This is just how things work in pro play. If there's an aerial air dribble happening, you're just going to pre-jump it so you don't have to worry about the ramifications of it. The spacing isn't as great, but because Beast Mode's able to slow the play down, Daniel's able to get back and make a really amazing save. And a lot happening on the goal line here. We'll go back a little bit, but as you can see, once we have Daniel hit this ball up, LJ's able to follow up this touch from Chicago. Really good touch from Chicago, getting it off the ceiling and then towards the net or towards LJ. It's what I talked about in my Zen Masterclass. If you have space, using the ceiling is so good because getting that verticality and getting that slope down makes it so much harder on the defenders to actually read what play is happening. Now, I looked at it, and from LJ's POV, he doesn't really have a great angle on the ball. As you can see, Atomic and Beast Mode are both there. But that speaks to how good G2's defense is. When you see a play, and this is how you can translate it to your ranked games, if you see your teammate doing something, just be there to support it. In this case, they're just guarding the goal line. But in all of these plays, we always see one person waiting and then one person challenging. So we have the person going and then the person waiting. And that's how you're able to take advantage of situations where instead of just isolating your challenges, you're able to play with your team and make it a lot easier on you. Beast Mode gets his flick dunked. Really scary situation for Atomic. But luckily, things all work out here. Okay, now watch what happens here. I want you to keep your eyes on Daniel in this spot. Watch what happens. Look at that. Daniel able to get a demo, and it's just an open net. So let's go to Daniel's POV. Let's see what he does here. That's so impressive. He goes for the ball. Gets one touch. His job's done. He's made his touch. But look what he's doing. He's staying supersonic and keeping his options open. And you know what he sees? He sees Hawkser in his momentum, in his rotation. Pros are so good because they keep their momentum, and that keeps options like this open. And G2's disruption is really how they were able to win this series and the regional. Look at that. One demo from Daniel, sorry, that's hard to say, gives a free net for the team of G2. And that disruption is something you can also use in your ranked games. When you hit the ball, your job isn't finished. You're able to do other things like bumping, like getting boost, but staying supersonic allows you to do all those things. So let's see how they get their second and third goals here. We have Daniel on the solo play. Again, pre-jump from LJ, pretty standard. Nothing too crazy. This is small, but I want you to notice. Beast Mode's back here. So if Atomic goes, look at the gap in space there is between these two people. Atomic, if Beast Mode was here, would have pre-jumped and went for the challenge because the spacing is shorter and he's able to follow up on his touch. But what Atomic does, and it's very smart, and it's something you got to think about in your games. Where are my teammates at? How do I play with them? If Atomic just goes here and he jumps, he's getting beat by Chicago, and then Beast Mode is left in a basically 1v3, maybe a 1v2, who knows? But that's just not a great situation to be in. So what Atomic does is he stays close to the ball so that Chicago has to respect his challenge, but instead of going, just lets Beast Mode go. Look, Atomic doesn't even touch the ball, but he's making such an impact with his spacing and with the spacing of his teammates. Obviously, in your ranked games, you are not going to be having Beast Mode as a teammate. But what you can do to help out with that is notice your challenge spacing. It's kind of hard, depending on where you're at, to know what the greatest challenge spacing is. But I like to think of it as, if this person makes a touch over my teammate, am I able to get to it? And if the answer is yes, then you're in a good spot. And here is Daniel again, doing things that helps his team out. He notices Beast Mode has a free touch, and look where he's at. He's right back at Hawkser. And while this goal isn't directly scored off of because of what Daniel did, that disruption and that looking around, even though you're not hitting the ball, is the reason they scored in that spot. So as you can see, it's a lot of spacing and then bumping after the play. That's how G2 is so good. Obviously, G2 is one of the most mechanical teams in the world, but all of these goals that they're scoring isn't that special. You're going to have the crazy goal scored from Beast Mode and Daniel and Atomic every once in a while, but their gameplay is based on being aggressive, doing correct spacing, and then demoing when they're able to. And here we have Beast Mode getting a really good double tap on net, and Daniel just takes advantage of a bump that Beast Mode makes. Look at this. Beast Mode lands on the back wall and bumps Hawkser. And yes, the touch from Hawkser isn't that great, but that presence makes Hawkser's touch so much harder. And, well, you know, LJ could have did a little bit better. I'll just be honest. But G2 is able to take advantage of another situation because of how they're disrupting. We'll watch this from Beast Mode just because I want you to see what he's really thinking about. He's always picking up this boost, and he's going double off the back wall. Sees Hawkser up and realizes, oh no, how do I recover? Most people would just slam their nose into the wall, but Beast Mode is already thinking about, how do I recover in this situation? And what he does, lands on the wall, bumps the teammate, and gives Daniel, well, and Atomic, basically a wide open net to shoot the ball in. So yes, I'm not expecting everyone here to play like they're in G2, but there's always that thought of what's the next play? What's the next thing that I can do that really enhances your gameplay to the max? So now we're going to watch for a little bit longer just the defense that G2 is able to play and how their spacing really helps them in these situations where SSG looks frightening. Hawks are missing. That's unfortunate. But look at that spacing. This honestly could be a goal from Atomic. He has to hit it top left, but in these situations, Atomic, they're all in a line. Normally coaches tell you don't be in a line because then you're not covering as much space as you need. When the ball is on a line like this, where there's no way it's going left or right, you're able to just keep the spacing, and let's say Atomic gets 50'd, Daniel is right there for the next play that might happen. Really good save from LJ, and Atomic going for a bump. Now look at this. Hawks are solo play. How do they defend this? Atomic plays the low, Daniel plays the high. Now this is a really good solo play from Hawkser because it forces them to be in that spot. But look at the trust that Atomic has. He doesn't fully go for this play. He just recovers to make sure that he's able to go for this next thing. So that other thing, trusting your teammates. Have one go high, have one go low, and trust the person low. So here we have LJ in this spot. We kind of get into a little bit of corner ball. And SSG spacing is pretty good as well. Everyone's there for where they need to be. As you can see, they're doing the same thing where they have someone on the ball, someone waiting, and then someone who's behind as the sort of pressure valve on if a situation goes bad. And here we have a really good play by SSG. I love the fake, but again, look at G2's spacing. Daniel trusts his teammate, and yes, this is a really rough spot to be in, but he's able to make a really good save because he doesn't just go with Atomic. He trusts his teammate. It's tough to do. It really is. But when you do it correctly, it helps you out so much. So now we have G2 looking to go on the offensive. Really good touch from Beast Mode. Yeah. Hope you guys are doing that in your ranked games. A nice little Arsenal reset musty. But you're able to just waste time, and it's that spacing, guys. One person's here waiting for the ball, and the other person's just sitting on the ball. Beast Mode could leave this. Beast Mode could not even touch the ball, and it's still a really good touch to slow down because then we get the same thing going. Daniel, Atomic in this space. All right, well, I think that's a pretty good example of spacing and being able to disrupt in Rocket League. Thank you guys for watching. Before we head out, any questions on the replay we just watched? All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, and I will catch you all next week.